There are 3 things that I constantly see commercial cleaning owners doing that is killing their growth. And in this video, you're gonna get what each of these are so that you can see what they are and then how to actually solve those or revive your business and having a solution for each. What most commercial cleaning companies are thinking are their problems typically aren't. So they might be thinking, well, I need to clean less. I need to get more clients. I'm having trouble with that. Well, yes, but not entirely. There's some things that you might be doing inside of your business that's causing those things to happen. And not only those things, but all the other things too that might be happening in your cleaning business. And that's what you're gonna get in this video, and we're gonna fix them. And before we jump in, if you don't know who I am, my name is Matt. I'm a 7-figure commercial cleaning CEO, started from scratch, and here we are today. And now I make these videos and have the programs and links down below, as well as the franchise brand, because we love to help people build successful commercial cleaning companies. All right, so let's dive in. There's no time to waste. The first one is what I like to call the V10 stall. If you've ever found yourself staring at your website for days, tweaking little colors, tweaking little buttons, or not just your website, what if it's a flyer or something about your CRM or any aspect of your business? You're committing what I call the V10 stall. And some people would call it being a perfectionist, because the reality of it is most owners mismatch the rewards they're going to get for their effort they put in. Or another way to put it is, if you spend half a day on the color of your buttons versus half a day doing something else that'll grow your business. That's what a V10 stall looks like. V10 stands for version 10, or like the final version of anything. Don't get me wrong, I'm all about excellence and doing great work, but technically you could dive to the level of perfection where you don't make any progress on anything. So, what is the reviver? And I struggled with this for many years until I learned what's called the V1 start. You see, action needs to be your priority, not perfection. Let's learn from some very successful other industries here. In the startup world, there's these things called MVPs, and that doesn't mean most valuable player, it means minimum viable product. It simply means what is the essential thing or parts of the thing that we need in order to start selling it and making money. Because in that startup world, if you take forever trying to get a perfect viable product instead of minimum viable product, you'll never get to market and start earning cash and growing that startup. Now let's apply that to our world, and not just when starting a commercial cleaning company, but when we're actually building it out and improving different systems. All that you want to do is think, what is the minimum viable product or the next iteration of this system, process, employment thing we're doing inside of our company, culture improvement, anything. Let's just go V1 plus 1. Right? If we already have our V1, let's just get a V2. Then one day, after we do all the V1s for everything else in our company, let's now make a V2 and then a V3 and then a V4, right? But don't try to jump to a V10 off the bat with your systems and your processes. Now, there might be some specific things where you want to get them a little bit ahead. That's okay. But fight the perfection, because it will kill you. It will take you away from what grows your company. Because the way you really have a perfect company is to have a profitable company. And profitable companies develop over time, and they improve and they improve and they improve. So start with your V1s. Think of it like MVPs. Don't get caught up in the weeds, and don't let perfectionism lie to you. And that actually leads to number 2, which is what I like to call progress. And you may be thinking, Matt, that's a really weird way to spell progress, right? Well, what progress equals is it equals false progress. Thinking of this takes me back to the first time my commercial cleaning company started making multiple 6 figures in profit every single year. And that completely changed my family's life. But what I found myself doing a lot of times was just spreadsheet warrior stuff, right? Where I was trying to figure out, well, if we change this, how much more money do we make? If we do that, what's it going to cost us? And I just spreadsheet warriored it out, and I was extrapolating out 10 years and growth speeds and all these different things. Meanwhile, the company wasn't changing at all, and I wasn't doing anything that was leading to any sort of decisions. I was just false progressing my way through the day. And it felt like I was learning things and making progress on my business, and because I was working, right? I was at the office, I was doing what I should be doing, right? Being a boss, whatever that means. And I had a sense of progress, but it wasn't moving any needles anywhere. And that's just one of the things I did that gave me false progress, because you can actually manage your business to death. And as it turned out, my company ended up stalling out a little bit. And then we actually started losing clients at some point and lost revenue. And we had to rethink what we were doing at that point. So what's the cure so you don't manage your business into the ground? It is as simple as this. You need to do something that is bold. And what do I mean by bold? I mean something huge, absurd, uncomfortable, something that makes you a little bit afraid, or going for a building that's way, way beyond your reach, or trying to make a contact that is way, way out of your league for where your company is at right now. Because what doing something bold really does is it negates the comfortability of progress. The reason that we all fall into looking at spreadsheets and managing our business and how the office looks and where should we move our office to and just all those different things. How did our taxes turn out? All these businessy things are really comfortable to deal with. They might be things we don't like to do, but they're not scary to do. What bold actions do is they override your base level of emotions and expectations for your day and get you lit up to get growth back going. And so doing something bold is an actual tactical move. It's not just that bold things grow your company. It's what doing something that's bold does to you. So if your business is just comfortable right now, it's just coasting along, it's doing okay, it's fine, and you really want to get back on the growth curve, then go out and just do something that scares you a little bit. And you don't need to do something like that every day. Of course, the more that you do, the better. But anytime you get that sense of, oh, I'm falling into progress, I got to go do something bold now. That is how you revive energy back into your company. And now, number 3, this is going to sound terrible, but hear me out. It is helping. And what I really mean here is we misunderstand as business owners what is truly being helpful to others and our company. So yes, it can be things like doing the cleaning and stepping into an admin role and doing work that we really should be paying others to do. But what I want to call out with this is it's more about a mindset. Now, I absolutely believe in helping people, but your mindset needs to change to help them in a much greater way. Because if all that you do is help in the most immediate sense with your team, whether they're managers or cleaners or partners, however your company is structured, then it's always going to keep churning and coming back on you. Your mindset as an owner, and in order to become a CEO, needs to become to equip and encourage. To put it simply, what training, equipment, or information do they need in order to do their job well? And then what do they need from you in order to enjoy their job and make sure it's done well? That does include accountability, having a path to follow. What most owners do is they're just all tied up because they're like, oh, I got to go out and help so-and-so tonight, or I got to go help so-and-so in the office. And then they go in there and they just do the tasks, right? They're not actually equipping and encouraging their team to be self-sustaining and proud of the work that they do. It's actually demeaning to somebody if someone else has to step in and do their job for them. So you actually infuse your team with personal dignity and increase their dignity, and then their willingness to work with you more and their willingness to keep growing with the company whenever you equip and encourage. So there you have it, the 3 killers that I see all the time and that we end up solving this way for commercial cleaning companies. And if you want the entire blueprint on how to build a 7-figure commercial cleaning company that runs without you having to worry about it all the time, and you want my help, check out the links down below. Thanks so much for watching. I hope this helps you with your commercial cleaning company. Again, my name is Matt, your 7-figure commercial cleaning CEO. If you know anyone else who this would help, please share it with them. Please like, subscribe, and until next time, keep building.